Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to Democracy 3 Africa. My name, of course, is Orbital Potato, and we're playing as Botswana, as you can clearly see by this gorgeous, gorgeous flag in the background. GDP is looking pretty darn good, if you ask me. Education is looking better than ever, literally better than ever. And we can be really, really happy about that. It's the start of the new term. We have just won an election. And honestly, everybody is kind of liking us. Like, everybody really, really likes us. Apart from, of course, the fact that, we've got the socialists who we really, really, really need to get on board with. Because, we're a socialist government and the capitalists are currently more happy with us than the socialists. Not good at all. We need to try and get on top of that, and I think one of the ways that we want to try and do that is probably to increase equality. I don't really know how we're going to go about doing that, but a first step may well be increasing state pensions. It's going to make capitalists a little bit unhappy with us, but it is going to massively, massively, massively increase equality, which is really what we want. Yeah, it's gone up a little bit since we've introduced the capital gains tax. We sort of had this idea that we would introduce a couple of, policies that didn't really raise a heck of a lot of money, but each and every policy that we introduced, each and every tax that we introduced, just gave us a little bit of pocket, a little bit of money that we could put in our pocket, which was kind of nice. How's our productivity looking? It's not looking too bad at the moment. Yeah, labor laws are 100% towards, the employer at the moment. Now, we're not going to be happy with this because we need to flip it around the other way. But at the moment, we need to really, really, really try and get rid of this uncompetitive economy nonsense. It's just really, really difficult to do anything about it. It is very, very challenging. So we're gonna put up with dodgy labor laws for now, I guess. Malaria, it's coming down slowly but surely. HIV/AIDS, we introduced family planning, and that sort of is seemingly being introduced, right? Seemingly being introduced over the course of a couple of turns, and that should have a massive, massive, massive downward effect on HIV/AIDS. So it's going to take a while, but we'll get there eventually, and we can be very, very happy about it. Now, about this deficit, what else do we want to introduce that's going to sort of pay for itself, I guess? We need to have some policies that actually bring us in money, because we sure as heck ain't cutting back on any of our services, because let's face it, we don't want to do that. I mean, capital equipment subsidies is honestly probably not the best use of money as a socialist government, to invest in equipment for capitalists, basically. It doesn't really sound very logical, does it? However, look at this. Look at this massive increase to GDP. This is something that we cannot turn down. And for 6.44 billion, that is an absolute bargain. So, as far as I'm concerned, I'll take it. Military spending we did increase, I think, a little while ago. So, we're not going to be looking to do that. Debt interest is costing us quite a bit of money, actually. 2.6 billion, 8.5% of our budget. We need to get on top of that right now, actually. We want to try our best to get on top of that. Plastic bag tax, that is pathetic. Mansion tax could bring us in a little bit of money. Junk food, not really. Recreational drugs tax, not really. Married tax allowance. Everybody is for a married tax allowance, although it's just, I don't really want to do it. Let's go for a mansion tax. Yeah. Alright, let's try and aim for 1 billion. In fact, we can probably squeeze out a little bit more than this. Although, I'm pretty sure this is going to lead to brain drain if we're not careful. So let's try and aim for 1 billion worth of income. Pretty ambitious, to be honest, especially from such a small tax. Petrol tax is also something that people said we should put up, and I honestly agree with you, because it basically doesn't affect GDP at all until you get to higher levels, and then it starts you know, being very, very, very negative. But I think petrol tax is certainly something that we're going to be looking at next turn. And we're not going to have enough political capital to actually do it next turn. But the turn after that, I guarantee you petrol tax is going to be going up. Calls to leave Union. We'll hold a referendum. There we go. Only a little deficit of 4.44 billion. That's not very much. That's not very much. That's definitely very manageable. A little bit of a market meltdown. Okay, so the global economy has jumped off a cliff. Our own GDP has similarly fallen in an unspectacular, well, I suppose it was actually a rather spectacular fashion. Health is looking up. Family planning is pulling out all the stops to make sure that we have an increased health rate, which is really, really nice to see. That's fine. 33 political capital. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough to... It's not going to be enough to do what we want to do, which is a little bit of a shame. But hey ho, we will work towards putting up whatever it is next turn. Petrol tax. That's the ticket. Alcohol tax. Do we want to try and get a little bit more money out of this? It does increase poverty and it decreases equality. I don't understand why it decreases equality. Well, I suppose rich people can still afford to drink alcohol, but, you know, poorer people can't. I don't quite buy that argument personally, but hey-ho. The environment. The environment is just so bloody bad. We need to get car usage down, and to be honest, I think a good way of getting car usage down is actually going to be the petrol tax. I think that that is totally true. Yeah. There's no way that we can get this any lower, is it? No, we're already super low. Okay, let's with our extra political capital, let's introduce some policies that are going to reduce car usage. All right, 300 and something million. That's easy. We'll do that. We'll fully fund that, and we'll look for another couple of transport policies that would be good. Perhaps electric cars initiative. That's quite a lot of money that we're going to be putting into that. I mean, that's $1 billion that we'd basically be looking at right there. Rail subsidies. Not thrilled about that. Subsidized school buses will take just to make bus usage go up. That's the important one here. That's literally the thing that matters. And fingers crossed, the higher the bus usage gets, the lower the car usage gets. Pretty darn simple, right? And with 2 pro-bus policies, that should be very, very good indeed. Okay, this is good. You know, this cycling campaign, it's not exactly costing us a lot of money, but it is gonna work out. What the fuck? Where did all my political capital go? Oh well, it doesn't really matter. We've still got... Oh shit, we don't have enough political... Oh, fuck. I overspent political capital, alright? I did. I overspent it. We're not gonna have enough to up petrol tax next turn. That's fine. It's okay. The turn after we'll do it, because let's face it, it's not going to make a huge difference anyway. General strike has developed. Excuse me? What the fuck? And a water shortage has also developed. Even though the environment is actually kind of good. I'm more worried about this general strike, to be honest. Poor earnings are not that low. They're not that low at all. And our GDP just got way worse. Look at this. Look at this. 42% of GDP. Are you kidding me? Our stability is super high. Why are we having these general strikes? This is not good. Alright, well, there's a couple of problems that I see from this, right? There's a couple of major problems. One, in fact, do we have enough political capital to change the petrol tax? We need 36. Come on. Okay. Problem number 1 is that this is such a huge amount of our GDP, right? We need to actually do something that will counter poor earnings. Perhaps a benefit of some sort. Welfare of some sort. Child benefit. Childcare provision. I think childcare provision might be a good answer to this. Parents. Disability benefit. State housing. Welfare fraud. No, nothing really here. I think we'll introduce food stamps. It's always a really good policy. It's going to increase poor earnings by a little bit, but not too much. Equality is also going to go up, which is really nice to see. And that didn't cost much political capital, so fingers crossed we'll be able to introduce something else. Compulsory work for the unemployed. It's not really something that I really want to do. Gender representation measures. That is interesting, actually. I would love to introduce this. This would be awesome. And so would this. Rent controls. Rent controls would not be very popular. Although I think it would actually go down quite well with the poorer people. Unemployment benefit. I think we're going to increase... we're going to stick unemployment benefit on here. This is going to cost us nothing. Are you telling me this is going to cost us nothing? Oh well. Hey ho. What's our poverty looking like, actually? Our poverty is actually really high. With the introduction of these two policies, we should see poverty going way down. Fingers crossed that's going to sort the general strike, because it's going to be reducing poverty and it's also going to be increasing poor earnings. So this should end very quickly. And let's face it, we really need it to do. We really need it to end quickly. It's costing us a little bit of money as well, so not super thrilling. Not super thrilling, should I say. This water shortage, not unbelievably excited by this water shortage nonsense that we've got going on. The most interesting thing about the water shortage is that it leads to a crazy high level of food price, which are going to hurt poor earnings, which is not great. Which is not great at all. We'll have to keep an eye on that, because that is a real problem. This deficit that we're in is also a real problem. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? We're once again, we're not going to have enough political capital. Are you shitting me? GM food proposal. Let's allow them. All right, let's go to the next turn. Fucking hell. Foreign military support. What the fuck? The power block alignment, foreign relations, and this gives nothing. Why? This gives no effect. Okay. It's not a modifier that I've ever seen before. Pretty cool. Unemployment is going to go up with the introduction of the unemployment benefit, unfortunately. Power blackouts, that is not great, because we've got this general strike that is ongoing. Although the general strike should be ending. Yeah, the general strike is going to be ending. Awesome. Really good to see. And poverty is going to go dramatically down. Education is also going to go down a smidgen because of these power blackouts. Not super thrilled by that, but power blackouts will end the turn after the next one, I think. GDP is continuing to go into the ground, because power blackouts has a knock-on effect with GDP as well, so thrilling. And our credit rating is being downgraded. That is not good at all. And we're on 34 political capital, which is even fucking better. Is there ever... Can I just not mess it up for once? Any policies? Any policies that... Clean fuel subsidy? I think this actually has a... car emission limits. Let's introduce car emission limits. There we go. Gonna decrease CO2 emissions and car usage. Awesome. And it's just one of those policies. That's gonna mean that we don't have to overflow with political capital. But I think we can go to the next turn, because this has been a dark couple of turns, friends. This has been a dark couple of turns. Water shortage. I did not think that that was going to end, but I'm super glad that it did. GDP has bounced back dramatically. Holy cow. Suddenly, things are looking up. Yeah, our income fell a lot over the past couple of turns. We need to make sure that our income recovers very strongly, I should hope. Not to mention that since the global economy is kind of like at the bottom of the barrel, we should be hoping for you know, a good period of growth in the global economy. Also, debt interest is costing us 23% of our budget is going towards debt interest and debt repayment. That is not acceptable. That is not acceptable, and sooner rather than later we're going to get into a debt crisis if we do not fix this, and we need to. We absolutely need to fix this. So, petrol tax is going to be bumped way up. It's going to affect GDP a little bit, but honestly, it's going to bring us in a ton of money. And I say a ton of money. It's not going to bring us in a ton of money, but it's the easiest way to get money without doing anything. Yeah, I think that is the correct call. Foreign aid could perhaps be cut back a little bit. We get a nice boost to foreign relations through that, though. Yeah. We've still got a deficit of 17 billion. I mean, this is going to adjust next turn, so it's going to be fine. But just, it worries me. It really, really does. Technology grants, that would be kind of cool, but not really. I think we need some more... I think we need a tax or something. A carbon tax might actually be the next port of call. I think we might actually save for a carbon tax. Yeah, I mean, that's going to bring us in some serious money if we can make that work. Might just increase this uncompetitive economy nonsense, so we might have to wait a couple of turns. We can try waiting a couple of turns and then introducing the CO2 tax. Yeah, so as I suspected, due to the fact that we've got a mansion tax, we've started to develop brain drain, and that's gonna not be very good at all. This debt crisis is seemingly ending. Apparently. I don't know why. Also, our interest rate kind of fell, I think. Credit rating upgraded. Fantastic. This is good. This is very good. Yes, it seems that the international community will not stand with you if you have a period of bad times in your country. But hey-ho, power blackouts has ended, and everything is looking up. And unemployment has finally fixed itself again, so we're back down to 0 on that. That's good to see. How is this uncompetitive economy nonsense doing? This could end, actually, over the course of the next couple of turns. This could really, really end, if we're lucky. I don't really want to get rid of the automation tax or the mansion tax, but that's basically what we're going to have to get rid of if we want to just, you know, sort out the brain drain situation. The fact that we're still running that deficit is not good. Like, we really just need our economy to grow that little bit extra. That would be really, really good if we could do that. And unfortunately, it's just not happening. The alternative to this is that we bump up taxes by 5 billion. 5 billion is not a lot. It's not a lot at all. It is going to increase brain drain by a little bit extra, but fingers crossed, it means that we're going to be able to grow GDP enough to get rid of the mansion tax and the automation tax, both which take in very, very, very little amounts of money. So honestly, I would feel fairly confident about getting rid of the mansion tax and getting rid of the automation tax very, very soon indeed. In fact, you know what? Yeah, let's just get rid of it right now, because we're just going to be bringing in much more money with our income tax. So we're basically raising an extra 5 billion from our income tax, but we're getting rid of automation and mansion tax. So theoretically, we should make an extra 2 billion. Because, well, you know, we're not going to get the benefit of the 1 billion in income from the mansion tax, and we're also not going to get the 2 billion benefit of income from the automation tax. A little bit annoying, but hey-ho. Fingers crossed, people don't seem to hate us too much. In fact, our target group of socialists seem to actually rather like us being in government, which is really, really great. Anyway, ladies and gents, we're going to be heading on over to the next turn in the next episode. But for now, and for me, my name, of course, has been Orbital Potato. This has been Democracy 3 Africa. Until next time, folks. Bye.